Okay, good morning, grade 7 again. Where are we the last time?
Um, seven steps of to discover and formulate theories, interpretation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we actually discussed about scientific attitudes. We discussed about step-by-step procedure in gaining the truth, right? Okay, let's move now to science investigation. How can we conduct science investigation, right? Science investigation is a process used to find answers. How? The question there is how. Okay? So questions about the things around us. It involves the application of scientific knowledge and problem solving or problem solving skills. It can be done anywhere. Okay? Being observant is one of that actually. Laboratory investigation or research activities follow the same pattern. Okay? The same general pattern described below. These are the patterns. Okay? This pattern will also be case useful in case you have to undertake an investigatory project inside. By the way, you have investigatory project. Okay? You have investigatory project. What do you want? Do you want it within the group or by group? Or you want it by class? Should I divide the class? How many are you in the class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Oh, I cannot divide you.
So one of us will have to be three. For three. And one of us will have to be teacher. About the teacher.
Hmm?
About the teacher. One of the groups will have to be
It is not possible. It's not possible.
one of us will have to be four.
I think we'll do it by class. We'll do it by class because you need to do a lot of work. Okay. So these are the steps. Number one, observation and identification of problem. Okay. When we observe, we identify also some of the problems. Like for example, okay, along the way, so you observe that some areas in Cebu has already gone flooded. So that is actually your observation. And you identify the problem. What could be the problem? Maybe in their drainage system, or maybe the people around Cebu City. The discipline in Cebu City. You are not disciplined. Yes,
People don't know how to from the properly blocks the green and then they create whenever there's
correct. It could be that we are not disciplined. Correct? So those are identification of the problem. Researchers make observations, okay, around them to spot problem areas. Okay? Then they identify the specific problem they want to study. Like for example, in my case, I want to study how to cure dengue hemorrhagic fever, for example. That's a problem. And what could be the possible solution? Okay? Gathering preliminary data, they use all level resources like the library, internet resources, consultation with experts, interview the key informants to learn as much about the problem as possible. Are we done with this? Not yet, right? Okay. So again, if you're going to look at the pattern, they're actually connected. Okay. The one we had discussed with scientific attitudes, okay, are actually linked to science investigatory project. Scientific investigation. The third one is formulation of hypothesis. Okay. Remember, we had a discussion last meeting about hypothesis. What is hypothesis again? Yes, Vishnu.
Hypothesis is where you kind of formulate what can help the solution, create a solution, and for you guys can just create what are possible solutions of what can solve the problem.
Correct. Because, again, hypothesis is connected or directly connected to the problem. What could be your possible solution to the problem? Correct? Okay. Hypothesis, on the other hand, is a state, is an investigative tool. This is your tool for investigation that helps clarify ideas and state relationships so they can be tested. We cannot test unless, okay, you formulate something to test. How can you test if there is none? Okay, you need to formulate something to test. You need to have a hypothesis. Okay, it is derived from the preliminary data that you have been gathered. Remember that you gathered preliminary data based on the problem because this is directly connected to the problem based on what you had observed. Okay, the next step is experimentation. We need to test our hypothesis. Okay, in experimentation, we need to have a setup, the experimental setup and a control setup. Take a look at this one. This is the stage where the hypothesis is being tested or tested. The researchers see to it that the experiment is in pair tests. Okay, when we say pair tests, happens only when one factor or variable is changed and all the other conditions are kept the same. So if we gonna have pair tests, okay, we're gonna change one factor at a time. That's a pair test. So you have experimental setup and you have control setup. Constant variable and dependent variables. Okay? The fifth one is analysis of data. Because we already have the gathered information or data from your experimentation, the analysis and interpretation of data gathered from the experiment allow the researchers to list the findings of their study. So what we had actually gathered. By the way, everybody, I'm encouraging everybody to please secure a book. Okay? Your books are compulsory. Why? It's all in there. Correct? Okay. The notes that I am actually doing, the PPTs, all my PPTs are actually patterned to your book. Okay? I am just here to clarify things over. I am here to guide you over with the lesson. Right? You need to do it by yourself. You need to do the lesson by yourself. I am just here to guide you over and what to do. Okay? Even in the laboratory. The laboratory, in the laboratory, I will let you do your thing. Okay? I will just guide you over. Even in the experiment. Okay? The next step is drawing a generalization or conclusion. What can you generalize out of that certain data? Right? Based on the findings of the experiment, the researchers draw a generalization about the problem they are investigating. What can you draw? Okay, what can you um, conclude out of that certain data? Remember, we are all scientists here. You're under me. So therefore, I am training you to become one. Okay? So we don't rely on things that is not scientifically proven without evidences. Therefore, we should actually have the basis of everything. Correct? Let's move forward. Verifying the validity of the generalization. We need to verify if our conclusion or generalization is true or uh, that we can depend or if it supports the fact, okay, or data gathered, right? This means that under the same conditions, okay, they should able to draw similar generalization, the same, okay. Otherwise, they would need to recheck the results and repeat the experiment altogether. Okay, right? How is an investigation conducted? How? How can we start a scientific investigation? Okay? Scientific investigations often follow a general pattern. We have patterns to follow. And again, since this is an introduction to you, we have a pattern to follow, starting from the observation, going to conclusion. Okay, again and again, right? Scientific investigations often follow a general pattern. This pattern is commonly called as scientific method. The one we had discussed a while ago is scientific method. Okay, so scientific method enables us to what? To come up with a good generalization out of certain problem. Because again, it is patterned, it is actually patterned, the generalization or conclusion is patterned on the facts that we gathered. Yes, Vishnu.
Scientific method are so there are 7 steps in the
Under those steps are sub-steps or subtopics. Okay. Later on, you'll be using this one also, pertaining to your science investigatory project. Okay. And in your higher years, you'll be using also this one. Okay. Other countries are also using this one. Some scientific investigations they require the addition of new steps, sub steps. Okay, we call it sub steps. Repetitions of some steps many times or skipping steps in the scientific method. If if you're gonna check on the steps, okay, you can actually remove some of them if it is not needed. But if it is still needed, you need to do it. Okay. Observing and identifying the problem. How can you observe? How can you check? Or how can you identify a problem? That's the first. Same pattern. Sir, you keep on repeating again and again. Constant repetition may mean that it will actually store in your mind. This is constant repetition. Why? We are actually dealing with the same matter. They're actually the same. Okay? Observing and identifying the problem, the process usually starts with the observation of existing conditions. Okay? And then identification of the problem to be investigated. Are you okay? Hmm? You want to sleep in my class? I will let also your grade sleep in my class record. You choose. Okay. Many investigations begin with event of nature is observed. Usually, we observe nature. Okay. I myself observe nature. How nature is actually doing its part. Because we are actually the one who destroys nature. Correct? Therefore, we need to observe also nature, how to repair itself, and help nature to repair itself. And questions such as how and why the event occurs are raised. Okay? An investigation may also start with another problem arises right after an investigation is completed, or when a new question is raised when an investigation runs in trouble. So, again, based on your observation, based on our observation, okay, we tend to identify some of the problem based also on the previous problem. And when we identify those problems, we also see that there are some problems also arising from that certain problem. So it is actually connected. So forward. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. Here are the guide questions. So in your book is good. Why? Your book will give you a guide question. You look at the guide question there. Okay? Guide questions in identifying problems for investigation. So number one, What is the topic or project that you want to work on? That's the guide question. Okay? What are those topics or problems you want to work on that is actually in your mind? Okay? That's the first question. The second, is it meant to solve a problem? Okay? Explain a phenomenon or phenomena, produce a new product, or produce a new gadget or equipment? That's the second guide question. Very interesting, isn't it? Okay. The third one, specifically, what questions will the study answer? Okay. What questions will the study answer? Or what question will the study answers with regards to certain topics? Okay. So those are the good questions. Next, the second step is gathering preliminary data the same. Sure, keep on repeating again. It's gathering of preliminary data from identifying the problem. Okay? When we identify the problem, we gather initial data. Okay? After identifying the problem investigated, how do researchers find out what is already known about the problem? Through research. Okay? Research. If there are some existing researchers already out in the market or out in the net. Okay? Remember that your generation is internet based. So you can always research. Okay? They establish the background of the study by referring to the works done by other scientists. Okay? As well as the information from reliable sources. Okay? This step helps them learn more about the problem. This is the time now. Check your clock. We'll end at 11:10, correct? You're scared, correct? Again, after identification of the problem, okay, we tend to, again, check on the net. You need to search if there are some existing researchers. Okay? You need to incorporate who are the author. Okay? Who are the author? How do the research go? And what are the procedures that the researchers actually done? And all of those. These are the guide questions. The guide questions um, in gathering preliminary data about the problem to be investigated. Number one, what pertinent information about the topic or problem is available in reference book. So you're actually looking for references. Okay. Number two, what studies similar to what is to be investigated have been conducted before or have been conducted before? What are the similar studies? You need to link it over. Yes.
So you will not know if you have an
And enhance your research. Okay. The third one, okay. Oh, in connection to that, what were the findings of those similar studies? What are in connection to your research? Okay. The third question, how does the topic for the study differ from those that have been conducted before? What are the difference? Mhm.
what's been done.
I will give you example. Galileo Galilei studied before, okay, gravitational pull and the laws of motion. He actually started that one. But Sir Isaac Newton continued the study. Yes. That's why we have the Newton's law of motion. Yes. They actually drop an apple, correct? Question, the question raised by Galileo Galilei is what force does the apple, what force reacts to the apple? Because it continuously falls, correct? What force? Gravitational pull. Okay, if we are pulled with the gravitational pull, okay, the first law of motion states that an object at rest remains at rest, an object in motion remains in motion, unless acted by the unbalanced force. What is that unbalanced force that acted on the apple? That's the question raised in connection to the findings. So see, there is a connection. Okay? According to Galileo Galilei, that the apple will continuously fall. But because of friction, okay, frictional force, it will just pull by the frictional force, by the gravitational force. Correct? But why did the apple stop in the ground? If it is pulled with gravity, what enables the apple to stop? That's the question of Sir Isaac Newton. In connection to the research of Galileo Galilei. See, have you seen the connection? There is a connection. It's a different study. Okay? Galileo Galilei is studying about the gravitational pull, the forces that acted on the apple. Because if there is no force acting on it, it will not move. Or that is, if there is a balanced force acting on it, it will not move. See? So there is a connection. The study of Sir Isaac Newton is connected to Galileo Galilei's study. Okay, that's what I mean actually. Correct. And again, it broadens the idea of the laws of motion. Why do an object move? Okay, what enables an object to move? See the connection? Okay, another example. The discovery of penicillium. Okay, a scientist discovered that there is an organism called penicillium. Okay, penicillium that actually kill nearby bacteria. So you're gonna expose it. If you're gonna put that particular bacteria, penicillium, it will kill another bacteria. So other researchers tend to create similar um similar studies. Here comes the birth of antibiotics. That is where your antibiotics came from. It will kill another bacteria. See?
Kind of put the idea there and that's going to be
Correct. So that is actually the pattern of our investigatory project. You can actually search for concepts, but we need to connect it with another concept, scientific concepts, if you want. Okay. Later on, I will guide you over. Let's continue by next meeting. It's already time, I think. What is the time now? 11:12. Yeah. I think that will be all for today, class. Please stand for the prayer. Do the prayer again. Make it sure that you're reading the prayer properly.
thank you, dear Lord, for giving us your lessons of this for and the knowledge that we just learned.
Jesus name we pray. Thank you, goodbye class.
Bye.
Again, thank you, goodbye class.
Bye. Thank you, teacher.
These are your chairs. Good.
Go.